welcome to the 2023 LYS Awards Banquet. My name is McKendrick Dunn. They call me Ken. I am the program director for the Young Men, the community mentoring program within LYS.
And I am Monica Scott, Program Director for Queens, being within LYS as well. And we are your hosts for this evening. This is a night of celebration for the members, mentors, volunteers, and staff. With so much negative press surrounding us, we celebrate our organization's positive impact on the community tonight.
Thank you. Good evening. Danelle Miller, I'm the Program Director for YMR and the Young Leaders Institute. And please rise for the mentors, members, and candidates for the Distinguished Gentlemen's Club and Queens Being. Let's give them a hand as they enter. Coming to the stage will be Maria dos Santos to do the welcome, followed by Romello Burden to provide the invocation, and Elijah and Akenti to read the history of LYS. I didn't need this up there. All right, we're good.
Mrs. Zayden. All right, let's give these nice-looking young men and women a nice round of applause.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2023 LYS Awards and Induction Ceremony. Tonight will be a great evening of acknowledging the accomplishments of our members, mentors, and volunteers as we conclude another fantastic club year. As someone who has received mentoring from LYS, I feel tremendous pride and accomplishment. Thank you for coming guests, donors, sponsors, and community stakeholders. Welcome and enjoy the ceremony.
How you like it? Cool. May everyone bow their heads and close their eyes as we say a prayer for the ceremony. Sweet. Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for the day you gave us, for this wonderful gathering of community, friends, and family. We want to thank you for life, health, and strength, and thank you to the Lowcountry Youth Services family, DGC, and QB mentors, volunteers, sponsors, and parents. Bless us to have a great night to celebrate the remarkable things you have done through us. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
All right, up next, we'll have the reading of LYS history by Elijah Strapp and Akinti Lincoln. Please come to the stage and give them a hand.
Lowcountry Youth Services, formerly Connections in You Inc., was founded in October 2018 by Ricardo Perry and Hanahan. The initial idea of the organization was to establish the Benny Warren Home for Boys in the Charleston area. This home would house young men considered runaways or part of the DSS or DJJ system. These young men would be surrounded by positive and influential adults who consistently impacted their lives daily. Due to the many challenges in bringing them home to the reality and the immediate need for positive impact on the community's young men, the Distinguished Gentlemen's Club, DGC, was born. DGC would share the same concept as the Benny Warren Home for Boys, except this would be done in the communities. On April 10th of 2010, the DGC initially met with only 12 young men from the Tri-County area at the Danny Jones Gym in North Charleston, South Carolina. In April of 2013, the DGC branched off into two chapters, DGC Hanahan and DGC North Charleston. Because of the extreme amount of growth the program had gone through in just a few years, over the next few years, the DGC continued to experience massive growth as the need for young men to be mentored grew. In May of 2016, DGC Somerville began as another program chapter. In July 2017, the Distinguished Gentlemen's Club became its nonprofit tax-exempt organization. All three branches merged into one program in May of 2017. DGC has served over 350 boys since its inception.
In 2019, the nonprofit name changed from Distinguished Gentlemen's Club to Lowcountry Youth Services to pave the way for community workshops and programs that would include young ladies and in-school programs. In 2020, Lowcountry Youth Services introduced the Young Men Rising Youth cohort program. It had its first cohort at Oak Brook Middle School, and in the 2022 to 2023 year, it served 411 young men in 13 schools across Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester District 2 schools. In 2021, Lowcountry Youth Services introduced Queens Being, a community-based mentoring program to teach and build young women of color how to find their voices by providing a positive community of belonging. In 2022, Lowcountry Youth Services introduced the Girls on the Rise in-school youth cohort program. They just completed their full year supporting 5 schools across the Tri-County area in 2022 to 2023. Over the years, we've had different names and programs, but the one consistent thing is that the Lowcountry Youth Services has been determined to ensure that every child wins. Thank you.
Thank you, Elijah and Kinty. Y'all did a great job. Awesome. Now we will have Ms. Danielle Hardy, our Vice Chair of LYS Board of Directors. My apologies. We'll have Jamie Beard. After that, we'll have Jamie Beard, our chairwoman of LYS Board of Directors, to speak for open remarks.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Directors, thank you for being here with us tonight. This happens to be one of my favorite events that we host during the year. It brings all the mentees and the mentors together, the community leaders, to the front of our community to showcase the commitment to building a better world. Tonight is not about us. It is about the amazing young men and women. Whew. It just makes me really excited to be here, sorry. Gaining mentorship, guidance, life skills, and a structure outside of their home. I want everybody in the room to look left and to look right. Each of you are here because in some capacity, you have contributed to the success of one of these mentees. Your choice to be involved with Lowcountry Youth Services through any of our 5 programs offered is not unnoticed, and we thank you. Maya Angelou once said, "I have learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you feel. Make them feel." I hope that all the mentees tonight feel loved and supported, worthy, confident, strong, safe, and fearless. Lowcountry Youth Services can say and do a lot for you, but feeling like you are the most important person is the ultimate goal. And tonight, this is for you. Thank you.
For real this time. We'll have another open remarks from our Vice Chair, Ms. Danielle Hardy.
Good evening. At this time, we'd like to acknowledge the people who helped to make this event as wonderful as it can be for everyone in attendance tonight, as we honor the hard work of our Distinguished Gentlemen's Club and Queens being young men and young ladies, and the mentors who helped guide them. Our music tonight is provided by DJ L. Joyner. Our photographers are Latasha Bellamy Photography and C3 Photography and Graphics. Videography services are provided by Trinice Elmore and Your World on Film. Lights and sound provided by Principal Charles Sweeney and Hanahan High School. And while our QB ladies and DGC guys are our most important people, we do have some other VIPs in the audience that we'd like to acknowledge. So first, if there are any elected officials with us tonight, please stand and be recognized. Any law enforcement officers that are here present with us tonight, please stand. Our DGC and Lowcountry Youth Services alumni in attendance, please stand and be recognized. And finally, any former LYS mentors and staff that are in attendance, please stand and be recognized. And there are no former ones, because once we got you, you stay with us forever. We are honored to have you with us this evening. Thank you for all of your continued support of Lowcountry Youth Services programs, staff, and participants. Thank you.
We're page 4. All right, at this time, we will have the introduction of our guest speaker, who will be given by Mr. Rajon Lewis Jr., our 2017 DGC Most Distinguished Gentleman. Give him a hand.
Jerry is the founder and CEO of Soteria Community Development Corporation. He endeavors to empower individuals in the community by advocating for economic and social justice through community and economic development. His passion is assisting individuals who have been incarcerated by helping them to become productive citizens. Jerry is a certified reentry specialist through the Institute of Prison Ministry at Wheaton College, who advocates for systemic change nationally. One of his most significant accomplishments was to help pass the Expungement Bill H3209 in South Carolina in 2018. He served as president of Correctional Ministries and Chaplain Association at Wheaton College from 2019 to 2022. He is a 2019 fellow in the Aspen Institute's Healthy Community Initiative, a 2016 fellow of Just Leadership USA, and he received the Buck Michael Award for Community Development from the Greenville Chamber in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome to the stage Mr. Jerry Blassingame.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me, and I want to say congratulations to all the inductees and all of you fine young people who are doing a great job. I'm honored to be here. Again, I am Jerry Blassingame. I'm born and raised in Greenville, native of Greenville, and I love coming to the Lowcountry. Charleston is one of my favorite cities in the world, I would say. I've been all over the country and traveled abroad, and I love coming to Charleston, and I'm so blessed to be here today as your keynote speaker. I'm not going to hold you long, and if I start going over, somebody will wave and say, hey, you're going over time. I have a lot to say in a little bit of time. If I wanted to tag my speech today, the title would be Your God, Your Plan, and Your Relationships. Your God, Your Plan, and Your Relationships. I have a PowerPoint, but I want to tell you a little bit about my past before I go into my PowerPoint, because this title is fitting for my life. This is not something I just grabbed, off the internet. This is my life. At 5 years old, my brother and I were in our room playing. We lived in an old mill community in Greenville, and my mother had a boyfriend. Her husband had left her because of me. I didn't do anything. I had 4 other siblings, and I was born out of wedlock. And her husband left her. I never met my father. She told this guy I heard that, hey, I'm married, you can't be around here. And he left, thinking that her husband would probably forgive her, but he didn't. So one night we were playing in our room, and I heard all this fussing and fighting. And I went and I put my eye to the keyhole, and I heard the guy say, you better leave before you see something you don't want to see. And so I jumped back from the door, and about 10 minutes later, pow, pow, 2 shots. We all ran out of the house. The next morning I got up, I found out that my mother was dead. I'm 5 years old. My birthday is in 2 months. My mother and I remember vividly excited and planning a 6-year-old birthday party. So can you imagine a 5-year-old kid whose mother's dead, don't have a father, and never had a 6-year-old birthday party? So my grandmother and my grandfather took us. And by the way, the man who murdered my mother also shot my grandfather in the eye, and he was critical. My mother was a twin. Her twin died of pneumonia 3 years before her. My poor grandmother. And 3 years after that, my grandfather passed away. We upped and moved across town to an inner city neighborhood. It was a new project, but it was drug infested, raided with alcohol. And that was my life. My grandmother was a great lady. She's a great loving lady. She cooked and cleaned, but every day I came home from school, she was drunk. I ended up doing well in school. School was my escape. My teachers loved me, and they cared for me, and they showed me things that I didn't get at home. And my 5th grade teacher was the love of my life, Mrs. Risch. I'll never forget her. I remember every day after lunch she would read to us, and I grew to love to read. By the time I get to middle school, I'm making A's and B's. I'm on the honor roll, perfect attendance. I'm loving school. I believe the first time I looked at pornography, I was about 9 years old, and I think I drank my first beer at 10. By the time I get to high school, I'm doing well, and my high school industrial arts teacher said, Jerry, you're smart. You can go to college. Nobody in my family in my house had ever told me I can go to college, and nobody in my family had never went to college. 11th and 12th grade, I went to vocational school. I got a 2-year scholarship in the architectural engineering program at Greenville Technical College. I was going to be one of the best black architects in the state of South Carolina. That was my dream. But this was in 1985, 86, 87. Crack hit Greenville, and all my homeboys were making money, wearing gold, driving nice cars, wearing nice sneakers, and I didn't. And guess what I did every day after school? I went to the block. A guy was paying me $100 a day to watch for the police. All I had to say was raise up. Once I learned the neighborhood and learned the game, I was $200 a day. And before I know it, the guy who was giving me drugs got hooked on crack, and his boss man brought me 9 ounces of cocaine. I'm 20 years old. I quit school, and I started dealing drugs. The first time I got arrested, I told the judge that I was going to go back and finish my degree. He gave me 15 years suspended to 9 months and 5 years probation. I did 4 months in prison. I got out. I was going to go back to school. I didn't. I went back to the block. I couldn't find a job. 6 months later, I got arrested again. I got sentenced to 20 years in the Department of Corrections. By this time, I had sold drugs for almost 10 years. I was 27 years old, married with 2 kids, and my first wife divorced me before the ink was dry on my indictments. She wasn't a bad person. I was. I don't blame her. But I remember sitting in the Greenville County Detention Center, and this guy was coming down the hallway, and he was asking if anybody want to talk. And my oldest sister, who was a heroin addict in her teens, had found God. I hated God growing up. What kind of God would allow a kid to lose his mother and to never meet his father? I didn't want to hear anything about God. But reluctantly, I listened to this guy because my sister had been writing me almost every day while I was in prison about God and telling me I need to give my heart to Jesus and I need to change my life because I was better than that and I need to make my mama proud. I was like, no. But I said that prayer that day because you know what I was going to do? I was going to trick God. Anybody ever thought they can trick God? I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to tell God I love him. I'm going to say this prayer, and I'm going to get right back out of here, and I'm going to sell me some more drugs. But guess what happened? My bond was revoked. I never made it. And I remember sitting in the Greenville County Detention Center reading the Bible. And I read through the New Testament 4 times because I was smart. I can read. And I got to the story of the feeding of the 5,000, and I threw the Bible. I said, the Bible is stupid. It keeps repeating itself. And if you know anything about the Bible, you know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they tell these stories over and over and over. And this guy walks in, he says, that's the synoptic gospels. I said, the synoptic what? And he starts to explain to me the way these guys were telling their stories from each perspective. And he sat me down for 10 days, and he discipled me, and he left out of the cell. Found out that he was a preacher who had got locked up in family court for contempt of court. Because the judge told him don't say anything else, and he said something. He was in court with one of his parishioners. But I believe God sent that guy in that jail for me. I ended up going to do that 20 years. But when I went into the prison, the first thing I did was I asked the chaplain what was the religious services. Why? Because I was 27 years old. I didn't have a mother. I didn't have a father. And I said, you know what? If God is real, he'll get me out of this one. So I want to talk about, as you're listening to me, your God, your plan, and your relationships. These are things, young men and women, that will get you through life. I wish I would have had a program like this program when I was a kid. We didn't have counseling. I didn't have trauma therapy. I didn't have anything. My brothers and sisters had drugs and alcohol. But I tell you what, I started journaling every day. Every day I would get up and I would journal because I knew one day I was going to need something. And there are so many guys that were in prison, black men. And I would say, what are you doing there? Didn't I see you, years ago on the street? What happened? Oh, I've been in prison. This is my 3rd time. Some guys, this is my 4th time. Some guys, this is my 5th time. It was my 2nd time. I'm like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. And this is what I said. I said, God, if you get me out of here, I promise you I won't come back. That was my promise to God. But this was my one confession every day. I said, I'm not going to be here long. I would get up every day. Every day I would get up and I said, I'm not going to be here long. And not only did I say I'm not going to be here long, I would pray every day. I would read my Bible every day. I would journal every day. And I worked in the prison. I had a job. I was a teacher's aide because I had college education. They allowed me to work in the school as a teacher's aide. So I did everything I needed to do. I didn't get one write-up. I didn't get in trouble. And in 16 months, they shipped me from a maximum security prison to a prison that didn't even have a fence around it. Now, I'm believing now. And the more and more I believed and the more I did, God began to show me more and more miracles. 3.5 years, every day I had one confession, I'm not going to be here long. And in 3.5 years, I was paroled on a 20-year prison sentence. Every day, I said, I'm not going to be here long. I journaled. And guess what I wrote? I wrote down the plan. Your God, your plan, and your relationships. I wrote down the plan. I found the scripture in the Bible, Habakkuk 2, it says, write the vision down and make it plain so that those who read it may run with you. Write the vision down and make it plain so that those who read it may run with you. I believe that. So when I left the prison, I had 250 handwritten pages of a plan. I wrote down a mission statement. I wrote down a vision statement. I wrote down goals, and I wrote down objectives. So what type of relationships can you find in prison that's going to help you on the outside? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because so many people came into the prisons, church groups and Bible studies and all these things. And I had a church, a Clemson United Methodist Church Sunday school class, wanted to write somebody who was in prison. And one of the volunteers said, hey, Jerry Blassingame's a pretty decent dude. Why don't you start writing him? This Sunday school class started writing me, and they started coming to visit me, and they paid my way through Bible school while I was in prison. And when I got out of prison, I told them that I wanted to start a nonprofit, and they raised money to pay my salary. And to this day, they're still my friends. 28 years later, these people are still my friends. It's important of the relationships we have. I want to start going down the PowerPoint because I don't have a lot of time. And so this is our mission statement. We advocate for economic and social justice for those and their families who've been impacted by the criminal justice system. We work to create opportunities for previously incarcerated individuals to rent in society through transitional housing, life skill, and job training. Our vision, we're a model for successful faith-based initiatives by aligning government, churches, nonprofit organizations, and industry, and community leaders in order to empower long-term positive change. Can you imagine a black man with a criminal background saying that 24 years ago? I've been out of prison 24 years. I had one speeding ticket. I haven't been arrested for anything. We create jobs and opportunities. That's what my nonprofit does. Next slide. See, I want you young people to understand this, because right now in America, there are 2.3 million people locked up in our jails and prisons. 2.3 million. 1 in 6 white males have a conviction, 1 in 36 Hispanic males, 1 in 16 black males, 1 in 11 white women, 1 in 45 Hispanic women, and 1 in 18 black women. Watch this. Next slide. Over 70 million people in America have some type of criminal conviction. The lifetime likelihood of a male born after 2001 going to prison, 1 in 17 white males, 1 in 6 Hispanic males, and 1 in 3 black males. That's why I drove 3 hours to come to you to talk to you, kings. That is not you. That is not your statistic. Next slide. Last year, it cost $32,000 to incarcerate one person in the Department of Corrections in South Carolina. The average stay is 4 years. We're spending $128,000, almost $129,000. Last year, we had 16,380 people, which the count is down. We're spending $500 million a year in our state to incarcerate people. My son is a sophomore at North Carolina A&T. I paid $31,000 last year to educate him. We're paying more to incarcerate people than to educate them. I'm mad. Next slide. But it's not all bad, because these are the tools that we use to eliminate the impacts of cultural, social, economic, and racial isolation. Housing, public spaces, community pride, political advocacy, job creation, public services, business development, and job training. I have taken the tools of community and economic development, and I have paired them up with prison reentry. That's the secret sauce. Next slide. This is what we do. These are the services that I come up with. Housing, low to moderate income, new home development, education, GED, continuing education, technical training, employment, soteria at work. We have a job training program. You know, in the blighted neighborhood, how they tear down all these houses and they send the houses to the landfill, right? You know what we do? We tear them down by hand and we reclaim the wood. I teach men who are getting out of prison how to tear houses down, and they build beautiful reclaimed wood furniture. Affirmation, relapse prevention and counseling, mentoring, and we double down on financial counseling. Advocacy. Expungement legislation. I helped pass the first felony expungement bill in 2018. There were no felonies in South Carolina ever to expunge until 2018. It took me 13 years to help get that bill passed. Next slide. The requirements for people to come into our program: regular meeting with a mentor, attend church services, financial budgets and planning. Y'all see that? Financial budgets and planning. Financial budgets and planning. I'm going to say it again. Financial budgets and planning. I know y'all are young, but financial budgets and planning, one day you'll get it. Relationships with God, relationships with other people, and relationships with your money. If you learn that, you won't have to do what I did. So upon graduation, we help our residents with permanent housing, furniture, and all the supplies they need for independent living. Tomorrow, I'll be at a graduation at 3 o'clock. We have a graduation every June. In July, we have 7 graduates. Tomorrow, we have 5 men and 2 women that are graduating. One of our women graduated our program in 6 months. She was able to get her 2 kids back. She has a job. She just bought a car. And we just finished remodeling a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And guess who's going to be living in it? She is. Next slide. We operate 2 16-bed transitional housing facilities in Greenville. We have 1 facility for men, 1 facility for women. We own 18 low-income rental properties, and we have 5 vacant lots for future development. Our organization owns about $4.5 million in real estate. The Bible says to owe no man nothing but to love him. Next slide. This is one of our projects. We built Van Street project. This street, go to the next slide. That's 2 of our graduates. You see the top right there? That's the way the houses look when the lady bought them. She went to an auction, and she bought those houses. She came back to church, and she said, Jerry, I heard that you were wanting to do low-income housing. I said, yeah, I do. She said, come ride with me. Y'all, that's the street that my mother was murdered on. Wow. She didn't even know it. Wow. Somebody say, but God. I know we're not in church, but God. She gave me the street that my mother was murdered on. Y'all, we can't make this stuff up. And we tore the houses down, and we built 6 3-bedroom, 2-bath, energy-efficient, affordable renters. 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses. And guess how much we rent them for a month? $650 a month. Next slide. Here's another project we did. We bought these for $175,000, and the bottom one is what we did. Next slide. That's the same kitchen in one of those houses. The men in our program did this. Men who've been incarcerated, getting out, reliving their lives. Next slide. You can keep going. These are just a few pictures. Go ahead. And here are my guys tearing down the house. You can go to the next slide. And when we get done with a house, we're planting grass. We do everything. Next slide. There's some of the wood and the brick that we tear down and sell it. Next slide. Look at what we build with that wood. That wood would have been in the landfill. Reclaiming wood, reclaiming lives. We're building tables for restaurants. We're building farm tables for houses, barn doors. Next slide. Cornhole boards. We do wood walls. We do clocks. During the pandemic, we did a lot of cornhole games because people were in their backyards. Next slide. Farm tables, kitchen islands. Next slide. So we've created over 100 jobs for formerly incarcerated men in the last 5 years. We've diverted 200,000 board foot of lumber from the landfill, recycled or reused 150 tons of brick and concrete. And just from this business, we've raised over $650,000 in revenue, just from one of our revenue streams. We have several revenue streams. We are a sustainable organization. And people say, Jerry, how'd you come up with all of this? Well, society gave me no choice. They wouldn't let me go back to college because I had a drug conviction. I couldn't get a job, so I had to create a job for myself. No foundation would fund me because I was a black man with a criminal background, so I had to create my own funding streams. I started selling houses and getting into real estate and starting my own businesses. That's what we have to do. Next slide. I am an author. In 2018, I published my memoir. It's called Reclaimed. I have it back at the back. And some of you new inductees, I think it's about 21 or 22 of you, I recognize you because you don't have a tie on. Come to my table. I want to give you a signed copy of my book on me. Okay? Next slide. This is one of the most proudest moments of my life. I just took this picture last Wednesday. My 2 daughters graduated high school. My last 2 kids, I got 5 kids. These are the last 3. Grace and Riley was in 11th grade and they're seniors. Riley graduated 1 year early. And she will be at Columbia College next year. Grace will be down at Coastal. And my son, Jeremiah, guess what he's studying? He's going to be an architectural engineer. And he's studying at A&T. He's a rising junior. And tomorrow night when I'm done with the graduation, I'll jump on the plane in Pensacola because he's doing an internship with a construction company. And I'm going to spend 2 days with him. That's a proud papa. I went to prison, but my kids went to college. Next slide. Thank you so much. I hope I didn't take much time. God bless you. Thank all of y'all. Please come to my table and see me at the end. God bless you.
Good evening. Young Men Rise and Girls on the Rise are LYS's 10-week in-school evidence-based programs designed to focus on youth strengths. During these 10 weeks, students are provided with a safe space to help develop self-awareness, emotion regulation, and communication skills using an SEL curriculum.
In our first year as the program directors, we would like to extend our gratitude to all the administrators, counselors, and stakeholders that trusted their precious young men and young women to be led by our program. Thank you, parents and students, for participating.
We want to acknowledge the following schools that partnered with us in the 2022-2023 school year and allowed us to grow our LYS family. If you are a member of YMR or GTR or a school official, please stand when you hear your school's name.
Baptist Hill High School, Berkeley Alternative High School, middle school as well, Flowertown Elementary, Deer Park Middle School, Morningside Middle School, Meeting Street Academy, Stono Park Elementary School, Simmons Pinckney Middle School, St. Stephen's Elementary, St. John's High School, Sedgefield Middle School, and Sangaree Middle School.
Thank you to all participants in this year's program, and we look forward to even greater things to come.
Lights, camera, action. What happened? Oh, okay, here I go. All right, so now we are moving into the awards presentation section of the evening. But before I do, I wanted to really recognize Mr. Jerry for such a powerful message. What did y'all think about that message? Your God, your plan, your relationship. Mr. Jerry Blassingame, can you come back to the stage, please, sir? On behalf of Lowcountry Youth Services, thank you for sharing valuable knowledge as our keynote speaker, and we appreciate the great words for our young men and women in the program. All right, and now the awards portion of our evening. We have partnered with several community supporters to assist with the volunteer awards throughout the rest of the ceremony. So first up, we're having our dedicated mentor award presented by Ms. Letitia Vaughn. She is the founding partner and chief programs officer at E3. Please welcome Ms. Letitia Vaughn.
Good evening. I am so excited and count it a privilege to be here to give out the Dedicated Mentor Award. The Dedicated Mentor Award is an award that Lowcountry Youth Services gives to mentors who have shown their commitment to empowering their members consistently over the club year by attending at least 6 required club events this club year. All right, roll. The dedicated mentor awardees are Anthony Rivera, Anthony Jones, Charvis Wood, Dennis Green, Danelle Miller, Derek Edwards, Indiria Grant, Hezekiah Grice, J. Michael Sally, Jerome Calden, Latoya Lewis, Raphael James, Richard Gibson, Tamarik Johnson, Tanisha Slimpa, and Sherelle Colden. Let's give this great group of dedicated mentors one more round of applause for all of their service.
Let's give them another round of applause. We appreciate our mentors. Without them, it will be no QB and DGC. I promise you that. So we thank y'all. Yeah.
This is Make It Happen.
Next, we will have the Make It Happen Award presented by Mr. Jerome Smalls from Small Talk Group.
Hello, everyone. Really an honor to be here. Thank you so much. Love seeing all the young men looking so fine and prestige. So tonight I am offering up the award for the Make It Happen Award, which is for the volunteers who have gone above and beyond all club year by assisting in the planning, facilitation, and execution of everything that you've been able to experience all year, including this awards banquet. Without their support, there's no way any of this would be possible. We are truly blessed to have you all as a team, and this year's Make It Happen Award recipients are, and some familiar faces. First up, we have LaToya Lewis. Next up, we have Jerome Colden. We also have Dennis Green, as well as Richard Gibson. And then we also have Indira Grant, as well as Kimberly Middleton. And last but not least, we have Katisha White. Can we make some noise for all of our award recipients of the Make It Happen Award?
All right, let's give them a hand. All right, next up, we have your Thank You for Your Service Award presented by Dan Glenn, Education and Training Specialist at My Sister's House.
This year, LYS had to say goodbye to several members of our board of directors. They moved on to other endeavors. We want to thank them for their commitment to the organization and for helping LYS become what it is today. I would like to present the Thank You for Your Service Award to Kelly Lax and Brenda Bradley. Now, unfortunately, neither of them were able to be here this evening, but we'll make sure to get these awards to them in appreciation for their service to the organization. Thank you.
All right, next we will have our Mr. Samuel Bellamy, Program Officer from Coastal Community Foundation, who will be presenting Ricardo J. Perry's Servant Leadership Scholarship.
Good evening again. The Ricardo J. Perry Servant Leadership Scholarship is named after the founder of Lowcountry Youth Services and the core principle that Mr. Perry built the Distinguished Gentlemen's Club around, servant leadership. Youth can be leaders if we provide a platform and the opportunity to show it. Applicants for this scholarship completed an application, wrote an essay, and received references from educators. Lowcountry Youth Services will give applicants 2 $500 scholarships tonight. The winners of those $500 scholarships are, drum roll, Mr. Zacchaeus Kennard, Let's give Zach another round of applause. Our second scholarship winner for tonight is Mr. Reiklon Stevens Jr. Mr. Stevens is not with us tonight, but we will make sure he's honored properly. Thank you.
All right, at this, the next recognition is our LYS sponsor recognition presented by Mr. Ben Pogue, one of our LYS Board of Directors.
It's such a privilege to serve on the board of such an incredible organization, and it doesn't work unless we get the dollars in the door. So sponsorship is so important. Lowcountry Youth Services, I'm proud to say, has had a really incredible year as far as fundraising is concerned. Our sponsors have been a huge part of this success. This year we wanted to commemorate our appreciation for our sponsors with a small token of gratitude. So when we call your organization's name, if you're here, we'd love you to come on up to the stage. Sponsors who contribute a minimum of $500 in a club year are bronze level sponsors. We're proud to have this year's bronze level sponsor be the Charleston International Airport. I think we all appreciate them regardless. And our sponsors who contribute a minimum of $1,000 in a club year are silver level sponsors. We're fortunate this year to have 2 silver level sponsors, the Chapman Group and XL Real Estate. If you're here, come on up. And we'll definitely find those folks and make sure that they're honored. And just in case you're in the audience today and you feel like giving, or if you know someone who might feel like giving, let's see, is there a... So if you've got a phone, you just roll it out and you scan it right there. Make it nice and easy for you. Scan it just in case. You can have it there on your phone. You can go to work. You can tell your friend at the next party, hey, I know the perfect organization to give to, because really, it's an incredible organization. I'm biased because I'm on the board, but if you want to invest in today's youth and tomorrow's leaders, this is the place to invest in. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors, and we'll see you next year.
All right, now we move into the next part of the ceremony, which is the induction ceremony. This is an excellent part of our evening. This time is dedicated to honoring new members brought into our organization and recognizing the dedication to the members, mentors, and volunteers who have invited them into the club. Today, we are expanding our ability to serve our communities and help us to carry on our mission of serving the community. Today, we offer these new inductees an opportunity to experience our pride of service and the gift of lasting and meaningful friendships, brotherhood, sisterhood. This is truly a cause for celebration.
We honor these new inductees because they fill a vital role. They hold the key to our future. We must teach them well to be the leaders that will move us forward to serving the next generation. As we share our tradition and ask them to carry on the legacy of Lowcountry Youth Services, we should also look to them for innovative ideas and inspiration so that we may learn from them as they learn from us.
We are about to begin the induction ceremony to recognize and welcome the newest members of the Brotherhood of Distinguished Gentlemen's Club and the Sisterhood of Queens Bend. We ask all current QB and DGC mentors to come to the stage. We ask all of our past and present members to please join us at the base of the stage.
Please withhold any applause or demonstration until it is completed. We will call the names of the candidates. As their names are called, candidates will please rise and come forward. Your QB pearls and certificate of membership, and guys will receive DGC bow ties. Jalen Bell, Jawan Dent, Manisa Graham, Caden Griffin, Asher Fennell, Mai Shine Hayes Coakley, Aiden Holmes, Chance Hughes, Traquan Jones, Seth McAfee, Elijah Millen, Benjamin Pinkney, Caleb Robinson, Jason Smith, Joseph Smith, Joshua Smith, Michael Smith, Christian Stewart, Malachi Ward, Antonio Waring, Taylor Washington, Tyler Washington, Raekwon Dukes, McKinley Wright, John Wesley Zachary III, Kyrie Bryant, Giselle Brown, Lunice Dunmeyer, Ciomara Fennell, Akinti Lincoln, and Amani Loggins. I don't know who Jalen Bell is. Ken. I said Asher Fennell. Okay. I said your name, honey. So all current members, please have a seat. Oh, wait a minute, did we take the pictures already? No, we're gonna do it with them now. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, where's the needed tie? We need 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the officers and members of LYS, I express our pleasure with your presence at this special ceremony. We are all happy and proud that you have accepted membership in our organization. You are joining a brotherhood and sisterhood of men and women of all backgrounds, race, creeds, and nationalities dedicated to your greatness. The success of our program has been accomplished through the dedication of our mentors, volunteers, and members. Today, by joining this community and the world around you, the motto of our organization is setting the standard as you progress in adulthood. You will discover the great satisfaction of sharing in our effort. Now that you have shown your commitment to becoming a member of Lowcountry Youth Services, I now ask that you repeat after me the obligation of membership.
I state your name. Take this solemn obligation to abide by the bylaws of LYS, to attend all meetings regularly, to support and further the interest of the club in all its undertakings, to contribute my fair share towards the financial support of the club I further declare that I will assist in maintaining, building and strengthening the membership of the club, that I will help the club by actively serving on committees and in other capacities where my services are needed, and that I will practice the principle of the Code of Ethics at Lowcountry Youth Services.
And now, on behalf of all members, mentors, volunteers, and family members in this room, let me congratulate you and welcome you into the brotherhood and sisterhood of the Lowcountry Youth Services Mentoring Program.
Come on, we can do better than that. These young men and women have worked hard. Good job, good job. We're excited for everyone on stage. Congratulations. You may return to your seats, except for those that are doing the next presentation of the creed. Let's give them a hand of applause while they return to their seats.
I am a queen.
I am a gentleman.
I am a part of the positive sisterhood.
I am a part of a brotherhood of positive men.
I am true to my
I'm true to my God, my community,
and
myself.
myself. I am love. I am purpose.
I have intelligence, class, and dignity.
I was made with divine intention.
I will set and achieve my goals.
I have the power to create change. I will
carry myself in a way that reflects my moral and
values.
values. I will respect my brothers, elders, ladies, and myself.
I will respect my sisters, elders, brothers, and myself.
I am the future.
I am enough. I am a queen.
And I am a distinguished gentleman.
All right, let's give them young folks a hand. Takes courage to come up here and stand on this stage. All right, next we're going to have Teen Safety Matters recognition presented by, Empowering Kings recognition presented by Brittany Waring from Fact Forward organization.
Thank you. Thank you to Lowcountry Youth Services for being one of our first partners to help us test the Empowering Kings curriculum. Empowering Kings was a 10-session curriculum designed to discuss personal responsibility, pregnancy prevention, healthy relationships, peer pressure, and positive masculinity. We at Fact Forward developed Empowering Kings, because we heard from partners such as Rajan and other partners that the evidence-based programs that are out there now, they're just not enough for our young men. I would like to say that Empowering Kings is still in the testing phase, but we have received national attention from as far as the White House. And so hopefully this particular curriculum can be expanded across the nation to young black males to take this curriculum. So today I want to recognize the young men who participated this year as the first participants of Empowering Kings, but hopefully not the last. As your name is called, please come to the stage. Ethan Bright, Benjamin Pinkney, Sarek Slimmer, Jamal Hope, Jamison Farley, Dwight Hayward, Joel Tolliver, Elijah Strapp, Benjamin Scott, Zakai Pinkney, Joshua Holmes, Justin Holmes, Rajon Lewis Jr., Seth Mahaffey, Traquan Jones, Ruben Lawrence, Zach Kynard, AJ Singleton, AJ Mitchell Jr., Taylor Washington, Tyler Washington, Brandon Corley, Justin Elliott, and Romello Burden. Thank you so much.
Let's give them another round as they get their certificates. Good job, fellas. Good job, fellas. I believe this is our first year doing the Power Kings. And we had such a great participation from our fellas, and to the point that we're going to continue doing it. So we are so excited about that. Next, we're going to have our Teen Safety Matters recognition presented by Yolanda McCrae, from who's a Prep Technical Assistant and Coordinator for South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present the Teen Safety Matters Awards. The Teen Safety Matters program empowers students to spot and respond to bullying, cyberbullying, relationship abuse, digital abuse, and other digital dangers. Most importantly, it teaches that adults are responsible for their safety, but there are things they can do to help adults keep them safe. The program is based on the latest research and has been reviewed and endorsed by national experts. We want to recognize everyone who participated in the sessions this year. As your name is called, please come to the stage. Romello Burden, Jamal Hope, Justin Holmes, Dwight Hayward, Justin Elliott, Brandon Corley, Drew Goldsmith, Ruben Lawrence, Matthew Piggs, I wanted to make sure I pronounce these names right. You have to get your names right. Manasseh Graham, Zakai Pickney, Sarek Simpler, congratulations. All righty.
we're going to move forward with the program with our Community Service Award, presented by Leonard Bailey, Minister of Mount Moriah Family Life Center, and Kelly Thompson, STEM Lead at Nywick.
I have to tell you, you guys hear me okay? Woo! I gotta tell you, I'm looking at this list. You guys have been busy. You need to give yourselves a pat on the back. All right. So the Community Service Awards are awards presented to those participating in our community service activities throughout the year. So they're separated into 3 categories: 12 to 16 hours, 16 to 20 hours, and 20 plus hours of community service. All right, so our first category, the 12 to 16, is the bronze category, and the recipients are Manessa Graham, Joel Tolliver, Sarek Slempa. Okay. I'm looking at my phone here too, guys. Kyrie Bryant, Aiden Holmes, Romello Burden, McKinley Wright, Alden Tolliver, Grant James, Leroy Stinson, Matthew Grice, Omari Fennel, Asher Fennel, Benjamin Scott, Brandon Strapp, Elijah Strapp, Zomari Fennel, Giselle Brown, Lunice Dunmeyer, Isis Lewis, Akenti Lincoln, and our Okarsama Massey.
Good evening. 16 to 20 hours is our outstanding service category. The recipients are John Wesley Zachary III, Joseph Smith, Joshua Williams, Andropolis Singleton, Tyler Washington, Taylor Washington, Evie Hope. And there's one more category. Our 20 plus hours is our superior category. The recipients are Zacchaeus Kennard, Michine Hayes Coakley, Quentin Grant, Dwight Hayward, Sakai Pinkney, Jamal Hope, and Jaleel Hope. Let's give our recipients another hand. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Awesome, awesome. Now we will have the Dedicated Mentee Award presented by Ms. Shawn Edwards, CEO and Principal Facilitator at Solutions by Shawn Edwards, and her lovely husband, Mr. Derek Edwards, mentor of Distinguished Gentlemen's Club. So beautiful.
The LYS Dedication Medal is awarded to members who attended a minimum of 6 club meetings during the club year. This year's LYS Dedication Medal recipients are
Evie Hope, Isis Lewis, Imani Loggins, Giselle Brown, Aiden Holmes, Andropolis A.J. Singleton, Antonio Waring, Alden Tolliver, Benjamin Scott, Brandon Corley, Brandon Strapp, Sarek Slimpla, Chance Hughes, Jarvis Wood Jr., Dennis Green, Donovan Green, Dwight Hayward, Elijah Millen, Elijah Strapp, Javari Loggins, Grant James, Jaleel Hope, Jamal Hope,
Jason Smith, Jawan Dent, Joel Tolliver, John Wesley Zachary III, Joshua Smith, Joshua Holmes, Joseph Smith, Joshua Holmes, Joshua Smith, Justin Holmes, Caden Griffin, Kyrie Bryant, Leroy Stinson, Leroy Stinson, Manasseh Graham, Matthew Grice, Matthew Piggs, Michael Smith, Myshine Hayes Coakley, Romello Burden, Seth Mahaffey, Taylor Washington, Traquan Jones, Tyler Washington, Zacchaeus Kynard, Zakai Pinkney. Thank you so much.
All right, next up we have our Fundraising Champion Award presented by Douglas Wright, Chief of Police, Somerville Police Department, and Radia Baxter, Director of Education and Programs at Charleston County Sheriff Department. Let's give them a hand.
Good evening, everyone. This year, Lowcountry Youth Services completed its third annual LYS-a-thon virtual fundraiser, which included a mentee fundraising competition. During the LYS-a-thon, over $20,000 was raised. Let's give yourselves a round clap. That was primarily due to the young men raising funds and their families and friends supporting them. Congratulations to all of you.
The organization created a fundraising Champions Award to honor the young men for their hard work. The following young men and women participated in the LYS-a-thon competition, and we want to acknowledge your efforts. Jaleel Hope, Jamal Hope, Evie Hope, Taylor Washington, Tyler Washington, Jaden Charles, and Romello Burden.
And as we call your name, please come forward.
Sorry. All right. Jaleel Hope, Jamal Hope, Evie Hope, Taylor Washington, Tyler Washington, Jaden Charles, and Romello Burden.
The following young men and women participated in the competition and raised $100 or more. They are receiving the Bronze Fundraising Champion Award. Isis Lewis, Elijah Millen, Grant James, Ruben Lawrence, Myshane Haynes Coakley, and Joseph Smith.
The following young men and women participated in the competition and raised $250 or more. They are receiving a Silver Fundraising Champion Award. Kyrie Bryant, Musique Simmons, Razan Lewis, and Benjamin Pinckney.
The following young men and women participated in the competition and raised $500 or more. They are receiving the Gold Fundraising Champion Award: Justin Holmes and Dwight Hayward.
All right, and now it's the big time. The following young men and women participated in the competition and raised $1,000 or more. They are receiving the Platinum Fundraising Champion Award. Are you ready? Please come up. John Wesley Zachary III and A.J. Singleton. Good job. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, yeah. And while they're stepping off the stage, I just want to take a moment. I want to thank you all for having me come again. I love this program. I love what you all are doing with these young men and women. And I'm just so proud to have been asked by Razan to come back. And I hope I can continue to get invited. Jerry, man, what a speech. You so impactful. And I want to volunteer, if I'm able to ever speak to any of your young people via Zoom. I know you're in Greenville. Please call upon me. I'd love to help mentor them. And man, those gold suede Pumas, they look good. And two more things. I just want to say I've had my day made several times this year. I was in Kohl's in uniform in Somerville, and my man Zach, this king up here, came up to me and he said, man, I know you from Distinguished Gentlemen, and we just started rapping back and forth, and I just appreciate you coming up to me like that and taking the initiative to break down the wall to come see me. I appreciate that. And Grant James, I see Grant in Somerville all the time with the biggest smile on the planet, man. I love you, buddy.
Thank you, Chief.
The Exemplary Servant Leadership Award is an award that allows us to recognize the people who have made a lasting impact on Lowcountry Youth Services and the larger Tri-County area through their support of youth development and youth advocacy. This award has been given to our co-founder, Mr. Ricardo Perry, Mr. Sam Bellamy, who's with us this evening, and even last year, myself was a recipient of this award. This year's honoree is someone that is very familiar and is a mentor to us all within the organization. Please give a hand to Mr. Jerome Colden. Picture moment.
Wow. Oh man, how'd they do this? I'm normally up on everything that goes on in this club. I don't know how they did this one. But I see my sister, my cousins. I don't know how they got in town without my knowing, but my sister came in from Buffalo, New York, My cousins came over from North Augusta. Again, I didn't know they were here. But again, this is a award that, again, I don't do this for the awards. I started this thing in 2016. My youngest son was off to school, and there was a void for me. You know, I was like, wow, I don't have anybody else in the house, and you know, what am I going to do with this free time? Because again, he and I would do everything together. And so he's off to school, and I was like, wow, I got to find something else to do with this free time I've got. And so a friend of mine connected me with Raphael James. I heard his cousin, so I calls up Ralph and says, hey, you know, I think I want to get involved in mentoring, you know. I heard you're involved in an organization. And he connected me to Rajan. I met Rajan at a coffee shop. I don't drink coffee, but that's where I met him, at a coffee shop. And if has anybody ever sat down and spoke with Rajan about anything pertaining to mentoring, that's the most passionate person that I know. He's a salesman for sure. And the rest was history. I sat down with him, and I've been involved in this organization ever since. And I got into it initially to fill a void. That quickly became a passion. And, you know, seeing these kids, man, seeing them progress, and everything that we do with them and for them, and they're appreciative of it. I share a story with you. This was an 11-year-old that I took on when we were doing one-on-one mentoring. And so I went by and picked him up one Saturday. I was like, hey, what do you want to do today? He says, I don't know, whatever you want to do. I was like, well, let's go downtown. He looks at me and says, well, I've never been downtown. This kid was born and raised here in Charleston, and he had never been downtown. I was like, wow. So we went down. I spent the whole entire day. We did a horse and carriage ride. I took him on the museum, the ship down there. I told him all about the ship because, again, I'm a 25-year-old Navy vet, so I know all about, you know, ships. So I told him all about this carrier, and he was like a kid in a candy store. You know, we spent the whole day, and, you know, I did a lot of different things with him. But that opened my eyes to the fact that, you know, a lot of things we take for granted, we shouldn't. And so that became a passion of mine. And so I was really glad, you know, as far as our summer retreats, we take the kids different places, a lot of places they've never seen before. This year, we're going to Chicago in a couple of weeks. Yeah. A lot of kids never been on a plane before. So these are the things that, again, it becomes a passion, and it becomes a passion real quick. So I'm looking forward to many more years with these kids, and I encourage anybody that's on the fence, deciding whether you want to do this or not, I challenge you, you know, come, try it out. I think you'll love it as well. But that's all I've got. I just want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you to my sister, my cousins traveling into town. I appreciate this. Thanks, guys. Love you. Wow. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, let's give Mr. Jerome a hand. Exemplary servant leadership. One of the beautiful things about being a part of the organization, like Lowcountry Youth Services, is watching these young men and women grow right before our eyes. The culmination of that for most of our members is their high school graduation. I like to call to the stage the class of 2023. This is Mr. Zacchaeus Kennard, Matthew Piggs, Brandon Corley, y'all give them a big round of applause. We have a tribute that we want to share with you.
you for the accomplishments that you've made, not just this time in graduation, but in life. You've proven yourselves to be worthy men, worthy citizens of our community, and I can't wait to see what you're going to offer the rest of society as you continue to grow. Congratulations.
Congratulations, big moment in life, graduating to the next level. Once again, Mr. Rich, I just want to congratulate you. Get ready. Remember the journey that you took. Remember where you came from. Those little tests, little journey that you learned, those challenges that you went through your moments will show up again, but they may be stronger, they may be smaller, what you make of. Look forward to your next journey. Hope you can walk again with the next journey. Love you guys. Congratulations again. You already know how we do. DGC out.
Blassingame here, waiting for Zach's name to be called. I'm just amazed that class of 2023. Very, very happy for you guys and you young ladies. You are the future, so please, please, please make sure that you leave your fingerprint on this world and make it a positive one. All right?
Congratulations to all my graduating seniors within DGC. I'm very excited for you and the next part of your journey. I'm hopeful that you will be able to apply some of the skills that you've learned throughout the many lessons and many years that you've been within DGC, and also use the resources that we've connected you with, either your brothers within DGC or the community relationships that have been formed. Whether you're going straight to college, straight into the workforce, or straight into the military. I wish you nothing but success, and I'm excited for what happens next in your life. Congratulations again.
Hey, this is Jerome, your grade level coordinator for this past year. I just want to let you guys know it's been an honor working with you for these past years. And as you again step into this next endeavor of your lives, I want to say congratulations. Again, walk away with some pride knowing that you guys have all the tools that you need in your foundation to start a bright and successful career. Go out, do great things, fair winds, following seas.
Congratulations, guys. Proud of you graduating. Take your time to be aware of yourself, be aware of your surroundings, and what the decisions you're going to make. You do that, you can be light years ahead of everybody else. Love you.
Gentlemen, man, the time has come. You guys have arrived to this moment, this point in your life. It's been a pleasure watching you guys go from boys to men, watching the journey, the transformation, the ups and downs. But I know that you guys are capable and equipped for what's next in your life. Again, congratulations. Remember, DGC for life, once and always. We love you.
Today, you are completing a victory lap of a race that started 13 years ago. You're walking the stage in your coronation. You are the young kings of tomorrow. Go out there and conquer the world. Life is daring you to fight. Do not back down. Do not get caught up in the midst of the balloons falling. Stay focused on your future. Have fun. Congratulations.
Let's give it up for our 2023 graduates.
At this time, we will present the Character Awards. The program's members, mentors, and volunteers voted on the Character Awards. They are designed to identify and acknowledge the young men and women that show specific character traits that we strive to teach in the program: integrity, perseverance, attitude, and leadership. We will have a winner for each category for each grade level group and one from QB. Integrity Awards will be presented by Leah Waitley from Charleston County School Board. Watley, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Thank you. Am I right here?
First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for having me here. It's an honor to be here presenting the Integrity Awards that signify that this club member always strives to do what is right, even when doing the right thing means standing alone. If this club member makes a mistake, they don't hesitate to take responsibility for their actions, learn from them, and continue to strive to do what is right. This year's Integrity Award winners are DGC Junior, Aiden Holmes. DGC Emerging, Mishni Haynes Coakley. My shine, see, it happens. My apologies. DGC Senior, Zacchaeus Kynard. And QB Evie Hope. Congratulations, you guys. Well done.
And now we have the Perseverance Award presented by Mr. Keith Smalls, founder and managing director of My Community's Keeper Mentor Group. Let's give him a hand.
Good day, good day. I heard someone talk about patting these guys on the back for all the work that they're doing. I think they talked about y'all patting yourself on the back. As the founder and executive director of My Community's Keeper Mentor Group, being a mentor myself, trust me, we are watching you guys. We are learning from you Lowcountry Youth Services. We thank you guys at Lowcountry Youth Services for all the work that you are doing and being a model for organizations like ourselves and showing us a successful way to do it. With that being said, I would like to say a quick quote by Winston Churchill. He said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts." The Preservation Award signifies that this club member does not give up. They stay focused on their goals and press even when things become challenging. This year's Preservation Award winners are DGC Junior, Charvis Woods Jr., DGC Emerging, John Wesley Zachary III, DGC Senior, Zakiah Pinkney, and QB, Giselle Brown, and Akinti Lincoln. Thank you all for your preservation.
Next award will be Attitude Award presented by Representative Marvin Padarvis.
Good evening, everyone. The Attitude Award signifies that this club member attempts to make the very best of every situation, speaking positively and encouraging others. This club member takes moments of failure into moments of opportunity to learn. This year's Attitude winners are DGC Junior McKinley Wright, DGC Emerging Omari Fennell, Senior Brandon Corley, and QB Lunice Dunmeyer. Congratulations, Attitude Award winners.
And our final character award is our Leadership Award, which will be presented by Ms. Rosalind Fields, Executive Director for Youth Empowerment Services.
How are you? Hello. Thank you for having me, and thank you so much for your partnership throughout the entire year. I appreciate you. The Leadership Award signifies that this club member is active within the club and his school, demonstrating initiative and leading by example. This club member takes on responsibilities and requires little to no motivation from others. This club member consistently seeks ways to improve the club and community and encourage others. This year's Leadership Award winners are Junior Malachi Ward, Emerging Quentin Grant, Senior Rajon Lewis Jr., and QB Isis Lewis.
All right, at this time, we will move to our Mentor of the Year Award, which will be presented by last year's winner, Mr. Charvis Wood, the 2022 Mentor of the Year, for the presentation. Let's give him a hand.
How's everyone doing tonight? How's everyone doing tonight? Yeah, I can't hear y'all. I hear you, Ms. Jamie. Every member, mentor, and volunteer in our organization votes for the Mentor of the Year Award. This award is for the mentor who the people have decided exemplifies all the qualities that we require of our young men. That goes for selflessness, servant leadership, humility, and integrity. This is truly a special award, and it's going to an extraordinary person. Let me repeat that. It's going to a very extraordinary person. This year's 2023 Mentor of the Year Award goes to Hezekiah Grace. Let's go.
I was about to say, get up there with the other. Oh. All right, sure. I get it.
Wow. I do got to speak, and I'm looking in the audience because where's my son?
Right there.
I love you more than anything. I'm not going to speak long because if I do, I'm going to get emotional. When I did this, I focused on the how instead of the why. Because I realized if I focused on the why, I'm validating myself. If I focused on the how, I knew I could empower the children and the people around me. So every time I step to bat, it's how can I serve y'all? How can I make y'all better? How can I make y'all say, I want him to be there? So thank y'all for trusting me. Parents, for trusting me with y'all kids. Kids, thank y'all for saying, you know what? Yeah, I do yell a little bit. He's a little stern, but I do that because I love y'all like I love my son. Because all y'all my sons, all y'all my kids. We are the village that God put here today, and Jesus, I love all y'all. So for everybody who voted for me, I didn't even think half y'all knew my name, but thank y'all so much to these wonderful mentors and examples of what a mentor could be. Y'all are the best. This award is everybody's, not mine. This award is everybody's here because y'all are the mentors I want to be. Thank y'all.
All right, let's give him one more hand. Can't say enough how impactful this organization has been, not only to the members, but as you can tell, to the mentors as well. The passion that we have for this work, you can never have enough of it because the young men need it, and without us, I'm not even sure where they would be. And that said, we also want to recognize the member who would be the next Distinguished Gentleman of the Year. So to present the award, we're asking Mr. Zacchaeus Kennard to come up, the 2022 Distinguished Gentleman of the Year, and any previous award winners, please come to the stage as well. Let's give him a hand, please.
The Distinguished Gentleman of the Year Award is a special recognition, one that acknowledges a member as a great example of what it means to be a Distinguished Gentlemen's Club member. This member has been voted a finalist by his peers. They were interviewed by the board of directors, which allowed them to showcase themselves in an impromptu question and answer session. As a former winner of this award, I can tell you that it is not an easy mantle to hold. People will hold you to a higher standard and expect more of you because you were selected by your brothers to stand alone as the Distinguished Gentleman of the Year. All finalists are already winners, and I thought I didn't have to say this joke again, but like Highlander, there can only be one. When I call your name, please come to the stage. My Sean Hayes Coakley. Quentin Grant. Brandon Corley. John Wesley Zachary III. As someone who's held this award for a year, I can tell you how much it truly meant to me, and I'm honored to be able to pass that mantle on to the one of you. And that one person is John Wesley Zachary III.
All right. We are right at 2 hours, which is the mark we had aimed for tonight's program. Before we close, we'll bring up our executive director, Mr. Rajon Lewis, followed by Richard Gibson to do our benediction. Everyone, please put your hands together for Mr. Rajon Lewis.
Grateful. All right. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set my timer. Nah, I don't got one yet. Nah, I don't got one yet. Oh, y'all got me real. Set. All right. First of all, thank y'all so much for coming out tonight. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. Why? Because tonight is a very special night. I love the award ceremony. It's my favorite time of the year. It's tied between that and probably the retreats, just because the retreats are really a personal time for us and the kids to just kick it. But I love the awards because when I think about the kids that are in our program, I usually consider our program as really the catch-all group. We're normally the kids that are not involved in sports. They're normally the kids that are not involved in some kind of special activity, playing piano, playing guitar, running track, in theater in a lot of cases. We have kids who do that, but the majority of our kids are not those kids. The majority of our kids are not the kids that are getting straight A honor roll. The majority of our kids are not the ones getting A, B honor roll. For some of our kids, this is the only night they get to walk across a stage and get an award for being great. And what were they great at tonight? Showing up. Showing up. We have a saying at Lowcountry Youth Services, time equals influence. Time equals influence. If I don't spend time with a child, I cannot influence that child. So our organization puts tremendous effort in spending time with the child. What I love the most about it is that the time that I spend with them that means so much to me means just as much to them. And tonight, we honored that. So give yourselves a hand for being here to celebrate that. Next slide. Next slide. All right, so what I wanted to do tonight with my closing remarks was, next slide. What I wanted to do with tonight's remarks was to talk about what we've done. Because it's one thing to say that we're impacting kids. That sounds great. Anybody can say they're impacting kids. But sometimes the numbers, my favorite rapper, who's my favorite rapper, RJ? Jay-Z has a quote that I love. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. 2,523 hours of total coordinated engagement hours between all of our programs just last year. That's not an accident. It's intentionality. Next slide. 12,397 hours of total coordinated work since 2017. I only used 2017 because I didn't know how to, we weren't tracking it in a way that I knew before then. But before I joined this organization, this work had been happening since 2008. 2008. So y'all are looking at a small portion of the work that's been done by Lowcountry Youth Services since 2008. But just in the last 6 years, 12,397 hours. If you look at those individual programs, you see how it's broken down. Next slide. 616 mentees served last year. Y'all can clap. Why does that matter? Well, if you look at the slide, it says last year we actually served 314, which was the largest we had ever served. We doubled that number this year almost. And guess what's going to happen next year? Another one. Next slide. Since 2017, our organization has worked with 1,205 kids. You can clap for that. Next slide. We serve 13 schools with our Young Men Rise mentoring program. Mr. Danelle Miller, please rise. Please give it up for Danelle Miller. So Mr. Miller came to us last year. Last year we were able to make our first hire outside of the organization. Our first hire outside of the organization. Why was that important? Because up until that time, everything we'd ever done as an organization were people that we raised up with. People who had volunteered in the organization, people who had donated their time, sweat, and blood, sweat, and tears into the organization, and we knew who they were. But this gentleman, when we got him, we got a rock. We got somebody that not only understood the culture of our organization, but understood the vision of the organization and was willing to push that vision forward. The first thing I did with Danelle is I said, yo, I have a summer camp that we need to start next month. Here's the framework that I'm looking at. Here's what I want taught. Now go make it happen. Next month, Min Riv, this man went through and he worked with over 30 kids over the course of the summer. You can clap for that. I'm gonna tell you why I keep saying you can clap for that. Because we, as people of color, too often minimize our successes. Young men, you are great and that's okay. You are great and that's okay. Thank you, Danelle. Next slide. Girls on the rise. Alana, please stand. Hire number two. Hire number two, Alana King Wilson. We needed somebody to run our girls program for in-school programming. Alana came on board and hit the ground running. She is now serving 5 schools, going in there, building those relationships. Again, the culture, understanding the vision. And I pushed them. Y'all know me. I pushed them. And when I push, they push back. What's that mean? That means that they believe in the vision just as much as I do, if not more. That's the type of people you need on your team. That's the type of people that we're looking for here to serve our kids. So thank you so much, Alana. Love you. I appreciate you. Next slide. We talked about fundraising. This year, we received, just this year, from August of last year to today, we received $51,765 in total donations. Oh, y'all are good now. Y'all get it. All right. Why does that number matter? Because what if I told you that before 2020, we had never raised over $50,000 as an organization, whether you're talking about grants, donations, corporate sponsorships, everything combined, we had never raised over $50,000 in a year. What if I told you that last year our budget was $450,000? Oh, you wouldn't clap for that part, right? Next slide. This year we had $100,000 in approved grants. That's just dope. Fact forward. Where's Brittany? Oh, she had to leave. All right, cool. Fact forward. Brittany Waring was Fact Forward, one of our initial big sponsor, big donors. We've been so grateful to work with them and to implement programming. So, next slide. Where do we go from here? Why do we have a picture of Apple products up here? Those who've been with us since I started know exactly why. Why is it up there, Mr. J? When I first started working with this organization in 2016, I had one mission. I called it Perfect the iPhone. Perfect the iPhone. I thought about Apple. Apple's one of my favorite companies. Apple and Chick-fil-A. No, and when you look at the business model, Apple and Chick-fil-A. Why do I love Apple? I love Apple because when Apple decided to redesign their corporation, they didn't endeavor to do all of these things. They endeavored to do one thing. Next slide. Perfect the iPhone. They wanted to perfect the iPhone. They put all their time, their energy, their resources into making sure that one device did everything they needed to do to be perfect. And since 2016, when I joined this organization, all I wanted to do is perfect the iPhone. What is our iPhone? Mentorship. I wanted to create a living, breathing entity that would give these kids everything they need. When they came to our Apple store, we could diagnose, we could correct, we could find the perfect device for them, we could give it to them, and when they left our store, they'd have everything they needed to manage their life. So, as we continue to perfect the iPhone, this is what it looks like. One, no, go back, there you go. Continue to provide essential service. Mentorship is what we do. We do it well. We will continue to. Thank you. Explore partnerships, opportunities, and collaborations. We can't do everything. So the stuff we can't do, we're gonna find partners that are gonna help us to fulfill that part of the mission. 3, fundraising and grant writing. Love ain't gonna do all the work for us. You gotta be able to fund it. The revolution will not be funded, but mentorship can be. That's a joke. And then lastly, which is really important to me, is conducting regular evaluations and assessments of how we're doing this work. That's the key part. It's not good enough to do this once. I did this once in 2017. If I would have done it once in 2017 and it would have stopped there, I wouldn't have felt fulfilled. But watching these young men, some of which I've worked with for 6 years, come through our program and graduate from high school, and then to know I still got all of them, it's worth working for. But I gotta do it the right way. I have to ask the right questions. I have to bring the right people into the room. And the one thing that we know about the iPhone is, every year or every other year, what happens? They come up with a new iPhone, which means the work is never done. The work of mentorship is never done. So, what do we need? We need your help. We need your help. We need your help. What does that look like? Well, some of y'all, it's gonna look like volunteering. You can go to our website, www.lowcountryyouth.org, and sign up to be a mentor. I know of several people that are in the audience right now that have already expressed interest in becoming mentors, and I look forward to you joining the ranks, Jerome Smalls. For some of you, it's gonna look like becoming a board member. Maybe you have some pull in the community. Maybe you understand how an organization works. We are currently recruiting for board members. Go to our website, put in an application to become a board member. All right? And some of you can give us money. And I don't want to sound like a pastor, but Lord knows. For real. Love is wonderful. Love is beautiful. But love does not fund the work. We want this to keep going. We're taking 24 kids to Chicago at the end of this month, and that is not something that a grant can cover. I don't know how many of y'all know that, but there are certain limitations that you can put on certain kinds of funds. So when that money comes in that I'm talking about, the vast majority of it is stuff that we can't use for the stuff that the kids really like doing. I'm not gonna tell you how much we spent on this trip to Chicago and the trip to Myrtle Beach for the girls to get a beach house for a weekend and to kick it and have a great time, but I promise you, it wasn't cheap. So, next slide. I need you to send a gift. Please, pull out your phone and make a donation to this organization. I hope that tonight you've seen that any money you put into our organization is not money that's going to waste. It is not money that's going to waste. All right? The table's in the way of the QR code? Lights are too bright. Can we dim the lights? Because I need to make sure they can see this QR code. There we go. Nice. All right, I got you. I moved the trophy. And it's on the back of the program. Oh, it's on the back of the program. You can scan your programs, it's there. All right. So with that being said, I want to thank y'all all. There's one more person I want to make sure that I point out and I thank, because a lot of times I get up here and I talk in front of people, and I don't think the one person that does the most for me out of anybody else in the world and allows me to be me in the way that I am and loves me for it and doesn't kick me out the house every day. Please give it up for my wife, LaToya Lewis. Who is in the back helping, because that's what she does. There she goes, that's my baby. And she looks great. So, I said all that to say thank y'all so much for coming. I hope that tonight you've been inspired. I hope you felt uplifted. But most of all, I hope you felt like good things are happening in North Charleston, South Carolina. Thank y'all so much, and God bless you. Have a great night.
Oh, we got to get out of here on prayer. All right. All right. So this will be short. All right. So there's a scripture that has always been on my heart, and I wanted to share with y'all. Greater is he in you than he is in the world, meaning you was born to be great. Everything around you is great. If it wasn't for the leadership and the leadership, our leadership community, the organization, we won't have this great group of kids and young ladies that are going into our communities to be the next leaders. So with that in mind, let's bow our head. Father, thank you so much for the opportunity to stand. Thank you for the opportunity to live life. Thank you for the opportunity to show us who is our Lord and our Savior by showing us exactly how to serve. Thank you for the servanthood. Thank you for the hearts and the minds that come together to build our village and to go out into the world and build a greater village, which is Christ, in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, so before we go, members, we do need y'all to come to the front of the stage. We want to get a group picture of all the members. Also, we have vendors in the back. Monica Scott, who's a business owner, has a home, health, and beauty products to serve you all in any way. If you're headed out, please check her out. Also, Jerry Blassingame is selling his books in the back, so please check him out and get one of his books. All right, thank y'all so much. Members, please come to the stage. Thank you.